And do you think, as a consultant in this case, Do Better Place can help? It is not only profitable for the owners, but it's also helping Bali to stay green for as long as we can hold it.
First thing that we always do is to make sure the zoning that we offer is correct, right? We want to make sure that what we're selling is not hurting the environment as much as possible.
Unfortunately, this is the problem not about Bali, but also have you ever been to Nusa Lembongan, Nusa Ceningan, Nusa Penida? The same. They have a lot of development projects on the cliffs.
Well, like we said many times, we are not chasing as many sales as possible because we are building long-term relationship. Unlike everyone else in the island, as a real estate agent just sells the property. We will not sell something that gonna end up having like construction all around or something that's gonna have a negative impact on the surrounding.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Better Place with me, Maria. And today we're going to talk more about properties and also real estate market in Bali. And today we have Mark with me.
Hello.
We have Tatiana. Hi. And of course, we also have Sadu with us. So stay tuned and let's discover more about this amazing real estate market in Bali. So you have handled so many projects in Bali, right? Can you share with us one of the projects that are most challenging, whether it is something that you've sold or one of the properties that you are currently managing? And tell us more about it and how do you overcome all the challenges?
Well, the entire COVID was one big challenge, I think.
Oh, of course.
Well, yeah, everything suddenly stopped. You have empty streets and no tourism, then you suddenly need to adapt to everything. We had this one property. It was challenging, but it was a success in the end. So the story was that the owner purchased a villa that was built especially for her in Brava, in Perumahan. It was a French couple in their, I think, early 50s. They got it in 2016, so construction was finished around 2017. And they furnished it and moved in. Mm-hmm. And then something happened. Which is some personal drama.
Okay. Interesting.
And they had to leave everything behind in one night, basically. And the property was left abandoned for a couple of years. So the owner reached out to us, and it was early 2019, I think. Was like a regular message in the CRM. Hi, looking for management services for my 3-bedroom villa in Brava.
Yeah.
Back then, we didn't have free sales or PM sales team, so all the incoming flyers were handled directly by me and Alex. So we are okay. Let's talk about it. Where's the villa? Oh, it's located right there. Mm-hmm. But please don't get shocked when you arrive.
Okay.
And then
it was already.
Yeah, that's a good start. So this is the moment. Yeah. Can ready alert. Don't get shocked. So then we get Gumapin. It's in Padanan, in the Perumahan area, so like a local district around. And you arrive, and like you see that things are odd right from the parking lot, because you see this like overgrown leaves on the entrance gate. And then when you walk in, you actually can see like what the power of nature is, because you have plants crawling inside the living room, walls and furniture. You have like bat nests everywhere in the bedrooms.
Wow.
And you obviously have like a pool, which is a home now to like a population of frogs, like completely green. It's technically a devastated property.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we were like, okay, like this is a challenge that we probably won't be able to take on. But then the owner, and it was like a nice French lady, and she convinced us to actually take this on and try. So over the next, I think, 2 months, we just restored a villa that was completely taken over by nature into something livable.
Okay. Do you actually have the photo of the villa?
I can look up.
I think it's great if you can show it to the audience as well, the before and after.
I hope if we still have something from what this early days inspection, maybe I have during the process when we already start getting it ready. But yeah, then we had a problem that with the same villa that the staff didn't want to work there.
Mhm.
They didn't want to work there because they were seeing ghosts.
Okay.
in the villa.
That is very Balinese.
Yeah. Like back then I was in Bali for about
Yeah.
8 years, so to me it was kind of like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
ghosts. Like, what do we do? Do we find Javanese staff to work on here? How do we tackle it? But in the end, we did some ceremony.
Yes.
So the ghost stayed in there, but it was like more friendly. It wasn't
Okay,
scaring
making
the
friends
staff
with the
anymore.
ghosts.
So ceremony was helpful.
A lady ghost, and then the property is like next to a river.
Mm.
So partially why we kept this property and really decided to take this on because it has so much potential. It was like on a hill, and then you have like a second like terrace land plot with the property on the hill. Then you have a pool well. Then you have a nice garden area and the river floating in front.
Right,
So
yeah.
it has huge potential. So yeah, when we finally launched it, it worked well for a couple months, and then COVID started, obviously, and it was rented monthly. Since then, with like 100% occupancy.
Oh,
Like it was rented all the time, so it was really well. And after COVID, the French couple, they decided to sell it, and we had a couple from England
mhm.
buying it from us, and they renovated it again, made their adjustments, and now it is we rent it during the peak season only.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a story that started with with a huge challenge, and then kind of transformed into something beautiful.
Yes. But as you tell the story, I can imagine how much effort that you put into the project. And talking about efforts, and you have so many inquiries coming in, whether people wanted to sell, they wanted to buy, they want you to help manage their properties. But how do you decide on which properties, which projects you want to take? What are the criteria, the things that you look for when someone comes to you and they said, I need some help?
Well, we don't take overgrown properties anymore that are taking over by the I can tell you that.
For us right now, we focus on certain areas that we think are profitable for tourism,
Mhm.
mainly that we want to attract guests that that target certain areas as well. So we want to focus on the properties that are already located there. We do have some flexibility if the design is still attractive, and because the market right now is increasingly, it's a jungle of developments basically.
Yeah, I mean, from every property you can see 4 or 5 construction sites. Like if you go to the roof, you probably can see more.
Yes, but okay, sorry for cutting, but
Mhm.
because it is a jungle of development,
Mm.
so that means we have a lot of things to sell, to offer to people, but the demands, do they keep up with the demands?
Yeah, because of the supply and demand ratio, I actually came to a realization why it's so why vacation is so important. Why every single book on real estate and every single podcast on real estate mentioning vacation. Because for Bali, like post-COVID Bali, it wasn't so much a thing. Vacation, of course, was playing a significant role, one of the main roles. But you could still get a property with, B category for the vacation and be very, very successful in rental market. But now, as the market is getting more saturated, more and more and more, you can see what's actually happening, that the properties with the premium location close to the beach, close to well-known areas such as, Potebalong, Brala, Perinan, Seserkau, are performing stably good.
Mhm.
And properties further from the beach with the worse location are showing problems which you have to tackle, with your rate, with like increased marketing efforts and marketing spend. So our qualification kind of made the location factor more strict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And let's go back to the other question. So, is there any other factors that, that make you take a decision to take on a project other than what you already said before?
We had this, luckily the transaction went through. It's called, can we mention it? Well, why not? No.
Beep.
We had this amazing hotel project in Bali. But basically, it was worth the fight to make sure the transaction happened. The design was something out of a movie, to be honest with you. I don't really know what it's called, the type of design. It's a little bit of Mediterranean, modern. I believe it was 8 to 9 bedrooms. It was incredible, but some problems exist. One, it didn't have the proper certification to work as a hotel, and it didn't have the right kind of structure for the leasehold period to transfer it to the new buyer. So luckily, we as a team helped to make sure the certification went through. The PT of the buyer had to come in before the transaction finished and help in terms of making sure the IMD went through. And we had to make sure the landowner comes in as well to make sure the leasehold transfer happened. Because the first leasehold documentation didn't have the right to transfer the lease. So we have to redo everything. But it was worth the fight. Right now, the property is about to be live. Or is it? It's about to be live. And it has some real potential for it.
It took from the day that we received the inquiry until the closing, it took like 9 months.
9 months. 9 months.
How long does it usually take for you?
On average, maximum is 2 months.
Okay.
And that's because the buyer is currently still abroad. They want to come here and do the signing and everything like that. Sometimes faster, but 2 months is the average.
Yeah.
So this one, it took 9 months.
Wow.
And it was,
and it wasn't like passive for 9 months. It was like active communication, making sure, to have everyone happy and actually go forward with the deal.
No. And is it worth it?
yeah.
Oh, we wanted also, I think, the new owner on the signing and the property made the proposal.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his wife to be.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching this, congratulations.
Oh, both deal went through?
Yeah.
Both deal went through. Yeah. It's not a hope anymore. Yeah.
So the another qualification thing is compliance, obviously. So we have to look into the paperwork of the property, make sure it has necessary permits, it is located in the right zoning, because with what's going on now across the island, properties are being built in a green zone, so we cannot take on projects like this that don't have a building certificate, that are illegal construction, because all kinds of risks emerge from this. So compliance is strict, location is important. Also, sometimes have to qualify the owner itself, because in some rare cases, owners have certain attachment to their beautiful property,
Yes.
which is normal. But there's also market reality, which in their experience, especially if they rented it out during some period, can be very different from their expectation can be very different from what the market is at the moment.
Yes.
And no matter how much information and market study you provide to them, they just know, because it's their baby. They know what it's capable of.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if, they built already 12 new projects on the same street, which are more modern, more spacious, better features, and so on. They baby still, going to be the best. So sometimes it's hard, and, we prefer, on our end, it's important not to promise what we cannot do.
Yes.
This is something we learned over the years, that you need to be very conscious about your actual capabilities before showing any commitment to the homeowners, because you're signing a yearly contract. It's a big, leap of faith to hand over the keys from your home to a management company. So we are being very conservative in terms of what we offer. We want to be sure that we can deliver this type of service that the client expects, this type of revenues, this type of customer care, reviews, and so on. And for some owners, it seems like, oh, guys, I think my property can do better than that.
Yeah.
And probably before, a few years ago, maybe before COVID, when we were just starting, we would say, okay, let us try. And then if it didn't go exactly as the owner expected, there will be frustration and so on. So now instead, we're saying, hey, we guarantee that we can do this because these numbers are backed by the data, by our experience and so on. But if you think it can be better, you can try with another management company or by yourself. And I mean, we have, I don't have the exact stats, but we can look up in our data, but I think about like 70%, maybe 80% of the owners that are trying to do it on the side or by themselves eventually come back and like, okay, guys, you were right. Like your numbers are actually much closer to the reality. So let's do it.
I see.
So qualifying the property and the owner.
Okay. Well, as you said before, you have before COVID, you used to take any projects. And then after that, anything, right? Yes. And then you evolve, you learn from your previous mistakes. And now you're more clever in, choosing the right projects for you.
Yeah. We want the whole process to be enjoyable for everyone, for the owner, for the management, for the staff of the property. This way, we better take something that, we are confident that is going to work. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that we are not taking on challenges. Yes. We love challenges, but we want to see that there's a potential that we can unlock.
That's true.
Before we say, yes, let's do it. And the market is so big now with all the projects that are being built everywhere in Uluwatu, in Ubud, in Canggu, that there's enough for everyone.
I see. Yes. And that was the part when you first accepting clients, when the work starts to begin. And now let's say the deal is already made and you are managing the properties. How is the system of your property management evolve over time, considering how you first started and now after you have handled so many projects? Is there any difference, or are you still using the same system from the first time you started managing properties?
Well, when we just started, we had to make beds by ourselves sometimes. And really, you guys made the bed? Yeah, I mean, I would go, probably we have a check-in in 2 hours, but the cleaner called in sick, and we just have 2 cleaners or 3 cleaners in the beginning. So.
And in the middle of the night, something happened.
In the middle of the night, you have neighbors of one of the villa staying, calling that, there's something going on. We have guests from one of our villas calling and saying, there's on the villa nearby, sounds like someone is getting murdered.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't have the phone number of the villa next door. Yeah. And we are working late. It's about 11 p.m. We're still in the office working because that's the way it was before, like sitting until 1 a.m. And so, okay, we have to go. I mean, something is happening there, and our guests cannot go to bed. They have kids, so we're going to get bad review. And so let's go. And when we arrived in the villa next door, it turned out that there are some. Was a guy from Norway that is doing skydiving. What?
Oh.
And they had a crazy party at home, and everyone is like wasted, sleeping on the floor.
Oh.
So we had to deal with this like extremely drunk group of extreme sports people. Asking them, can you please be quiet? And apparently when they rent this villa, the description says parties allowed. This is a party villa. So it was fun. But we were able to talk sense to them. Actually, I think we lured them to go to some nightclub. Yes, I think.
So problem solved.
We have this place, guys. Let's go. It's amazing. It's hard to get in, but we'll get you through even in your condition.
You also accompany them to the club?
Well, until we could disappear. Our goal was to get them out of the villa so our guests can sleep. So back then we had to do all these things, but in the operational side, in the beginning, we didn't have any software, so everything was manual. We had to have a lot of like manual input, controlling the quality with a very tight team. So it was like in the beginning, like we started with 4 people, like me, Alex, and 2 employees. So, and of course, it's, when I look back to the path that we went, all the tools that we have now, we now collect, over 250 metrics from different business units and different departments. And, it's all getting collected in one system, and we can forecast what's going to be happening in the business next week by the data that we collect. Now, we didn't have any of that. So it was just a lot of, hard work, and a lot of ambition.
A lot of ambition. But look at you now.
So now we have all this software, so I guess we can showcase it in the right here in the screen. So
yeah.
So we have obviously the channel manager, the multi-inbox. We have like dynamic pricing software that we're using. We have task planning, ticket reporting, owner dashboards, like live chats on the website, CRM systems, database, and our ERP system that we are developing right now. So there's a lot of tools. that making us able to work with the scale.
Yes. And from all the things that you just mentioned, some of them are actually part of technology, right? So could you share with us just how much the development of the technology help you in actually managing and, maybe also having the process of selling and buying things as well?
Oh, from our end, we use most is the CRM system, the database of listings that we have. We currently have over 1,800 listings. Yeah. And we have to make sure every pricing, every units, we have to understand if there is an update in terms of the pricing, if the developer would like to decrease or increase the price as the development moves along. It's a constant updating for the listing department. It's a constant communication from the listing to the sales department. It's a constant communication from the sales to the lead. So there's that involvement that I couldn't imagine if we don't have a system in place. Which unluckily for me, I used to work in somewhere that didn't have those. It has to be written down. I have to memorize a list of, that's why I still keep this habit in place. I have a notepad. I write everything down for the day, review it tomorrow, throw it away, use it as a summary. It's a good habit to have, but it's not
effective.
It's not effective, no. It's just because I had to do it. Now with CRM system, with the database that we collect, now we can even expand towards inviting co-brokers in, where it's a more seamless transaction in a way.
Yeah, there's new stuff that we're gonna implement and that we're gonna onboard the team on. So we are calculating all kinds of metrics on the website, so we can see what kind of properties people are searching for, in which locations, which size of the bed, or what kind of hashtags, like what kind of tags they're looking for, special amenities, both for rental and for sale. So all the counters on the website, then the website, I guess we cannot mention that. It's like
we research.
You research.
We research a lot of the market, existing properties in Bali that is for sale, and we try to gather the average. So we know what to recommend in terms of when a developer comes in and asks, hey, what's the correct price? So it's not just, you know what, I think. Yeah, it's all getting calculated, like the average price per square meter on the market, average price per square meter per year for leasehold properties, number of new properties added in the specific district over time, let's say for this quarter, for next quarter, number of tax properties has been shortlisted, and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that helps a lot.
And this, the great thing that it's all going to be available for the registered users on our website.
Okay.
So if you go to betterplace.cc and then you register, you'll be able to create your user profile for buyer, seller, or guest. And depending on the user profile that you're using, you will have various functions and tools available to you.
Okay. That's really nice. Let's say if I were looking to, to work with you, it's really nice that I can access everything to the website. And you also have like the online dashboards. Once your properties are on the market, you can see how it goes, all the performance and everything.
So let's say if you have a villa to sell, you'll be able to log in to your dashboard, see how many views, how many clicks, how many shortlists,
how many views
you got. You'll be able to edit your price. You'll be able to see your property ranking against the competitors. What else do we have there for sellers? You'll be able to obviously edit any amenities, or if you're a developer and you have a number of units, you'll be able to specify which units are sold already, which are still selling. So there'll be a lot of tools how you can be involved in the sale if you want to. So usually we do everything on our end, but like if you're an active seller and you want to be involved, you can actually, go to the listing, make updates in there, see the traction, try different things out, if you want to, update the images on your listing.
Yes. Okay, that's really interesting. So I think if you're watching and you're interested to know more, you can visit, what was the website again?
Betterplace.cc.
Betterplace.cc. All right. Well, all those things, the new system, the new technologies are there to help us grow into something better, right? And of course, to increase the profit. So do you have any experience, maybe Tatiana can share this also with us, where you have turned a property that was poorly managed and performed very badly into something that is very profitable?
Besides, we qualify the properties in terms of design. So we don't qualify some extraordinary designs like the properties with a red sofas or with a pink curtains, something like that. Yeah, because it's too much.
Okay.
Yeah, so the design should be really very attractive for the potential guests. And also the owner should think about some really very interesting design property to be attractive. Sorry. So the villa should be modern, and well designed. We also have some in-house designers which can help the owners to make the property better and more attractive for the Airbnb business.
So let's say if the existing villa, let's say, quoting your words, they have like red sofas and pink, but they say, because you have in-house designers, they say, you know what, I'll just give this to you. You do whatever you think is best. Would you still take the project?
I think most of the cases, if the villa has extravagant design, the owner have some kind of attachment to it.
So it's his own taste.
Yes, and it's going to be insulting if we insist in changing things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it doesn't mean that, because I had this owner, 4-bedroom, location is nice, but everything must be green. White and green, white and green, white and green.
Favorite color.
Favorite color.
Oh no, are we talking about the furnitures or the plant?
Furniture is green. The doors are green. Windows are green. I mean, it's a good green color. It works well, like emerald green kind of thing. It's a bit extravagant. So if he is willing to part ways in terms of, hey, you know what? It might not work as much as you would like it to be. You would like it to be. So we recommend this, and this. What do you think? There's always room for negotiation in terms of that. But if they persist, that's where we qualify, yes? And
it's hard to target the specific people who only like green.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's a very specific niche.
But you take on unique designs. I'm talking about unique designs. Is there some architecture are very unique in their own way, that it is the main reason why people want to go there and spend a night or two there? Do you still take on that kind of design?
There's a fine line between nice aesthetics and like crazy design. So if the property have beautiful but unusual design, of course we take it. There's no question that it's going to perform well because it's going to stand out and so on. But sometimes, the architect or interior designer team behind it, or the owner, they were doing the project themselves, just got carried away too much, and this just won't run well.
Okay.
So we have to be conscious, in terms of who is the audience for this specific project, and are we able to get to this audience and deliver it.
So we talk about the challenges that you had in turning a villa, in doing the property management. Now I'm curious about the sales. Can you share with us the challenges that you face when it comes to the property sales?
Yeah, sure. So I think 2-3 months ago, I had a challenge with a lease extension of some of the villas. So my client told me, Tatiana, I would like to have a 37 years of leasehold for my new villa, but the current owner had only 27. Okay, so we had to make the lease extension directly with the landowner for another 10 years. It was quite a big challenge for us. The landowner was very nice, so he lived nearby, but there were 3 owners. This land plot. So we had to negotiate with all of them. Yeah.
Are they families?
Yes, they're relatives. But one of them is living in Jakarta. One of them is living in Sumba. So yeah, it's usual for Bali.
You're helping a family reunion. Just to, they get to get together thanks to you.
Yeah. So of course, that landowners who don't live in Bali right now, so they had to sign the POA of attorney for that landowner who is living in Bali and can come to the notary office and sign the lease agreement with my client. So it took around I think, 1 month to negotiate with them.
Yes.
Moreover, we faced some issues with the documents. But we are always communicating. We're always working with the high professional notaries. So my notary was very helpful, and she helped with everything, with all these POAs, with all the documents. So she was really very detailed. So yeah.
So we might
managed to do that. Yeah. So we signed the lease agreement for the villa and the lease agreement for the lease extension in 1 day. And my client was really very happy about that. And now we are managing this villa.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's a really very good success story for us.
yes. That's amazing.
You only had 3.
Yeah.
On it.
Sometimes with the bigger plots, it can be 15 of them. If it's it's 1 hectare, but then some of them may not talk to each other.
Yes.
Happened in the past many years ago, and then you kind of you really need to do the family reunion, get together, everyone in the notary office at the same time. So yeah, sometimes it's difficult. One time I had the web extension. So there was a guy from Switzerland, and he inherited the property in Trabant, and we rented it well for him time, but then he wanted to put it for the sale, on sale, because his plans were changing. He wanted to acquire the property elsewhere, and we had someone who was interested to get it, but the lease was only 17 years left or 16 years left. So the new potential owner wanted to get a 10 years extension, and then when we started talking with the initial landlord, it's turned out that the land price in the master lease is connected to the price of ounce of gold, which is, it was first time in my experience.
Yes.
I've also heard there were, like you said, right, that there are sometimes it's rice.
Yes. It can be rice.
So
No, wait, gold, I can manage, I can understand, but rice, yes.
But I think it makes sense, gold especially. But for rice, culturally speaking, Indonesia and rice, it's the same thing. It's. I think the target for that specific leasehold clause was inflation, right?
No, for the inflation, you get a solid commodity that you definitely can.
I think that was good.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. I think it's a good recommendation.
Yeah, generally will be right.
It's inflation proof. Well, it shows the inflation at the same time, because Bali right now, we don't know in terms of how the market will react 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and then what the market rate at that time would hopefully be reasonable.
If global economy goes down the drain, then collapses, then actually rice is going to be
It's what he said.
it's going to be expensive, and it's going to be universally traded.
Maybe there'll be no more organic rice.
Even now we're importing rice. Indonesia is importing rice, you guys.
Well, Balinese rice is, I think,
Getting scarce.
Oh, I read something about that. It's not actually very good quality or something.
Perhaps.
That like even Indonesians eat imported rice. Sweet, but even Balinese,
Yes.
that's true.
Well, as I understand, we import them from Java.
No, we import them from other countries because it's not making good money for the petani,
Farmers?
for the farmers. The price of the rice is really cheap. So the farmers, they just want to stop doing that. They just rather be a Gojek driver or something and get more money than, producing rice. So that's why the country imported rice. Sad.
But where all the rice from Canggu is going actually? Like, can you get a poke bowl with the rice from Canggu?
Probably it goes to the luxurious restaurants that propose an organic rice.
I don't think it's in the real. I don't think it's in the restaurant. When I see those guys with the pesticides walking as a suit,
it is used to support local organizations.
that would be a nice marketing move for some restaurants.
It is, yes.
We serve Canggu rice.
Yeah, we serve Canggu rice, the ones that you pass by every time you go through the shortcuts.
Which is becoming, scarce and scarce.
Yeah.
It's hardly accessible soon. I think another 5 years of development like this, it's gonna be,
See, I have a question. I don't know if you want to use it later or not, but a lot of companies or people having properties in Bali, they market about rice-field views, And to be honest, yes, you are surrounded by rice field, but soon enough, all the rice field will be covered by villas and properties because everybody wants to be there, surrounded by rice fields. Does this issue comes to your mind when you are, for example, marketing a property or giving advices on where people should buy or should build and,
Yeah, well, the worst thing you can do is to buy a property with a rice field view, because that means that you're just going to have construction for the next 5 years.
Yes.
Next to it. Unless there's a river between the rice field and you, then you can have a river view is something that is way more secure. But generally, I think it's a big issue, and it's a question on how to approach and how to solve this, because you can blame investors from all over the world for coming here with money and wanting to buy land. Same time, you cannot really blame local farmers selling their land, because the amount of money you can make that they get the sale is something that you won't make with farming in 100 years. No. And the money from the property, okay, but of course, like some of them buying cars and then Harleys and so on, but some of them actually spend this money as education. That's a lot of it. So, but it's a question on how to actually control the development in the region, because it's really getting out of hand. And you can see, like if they had a proper city planning for Canggu.
And for the other areas also. So Bukit.
Well, Bukit, we will see the impact in a year or two. It's now a bit hidden because it's being built inside, and Bukit still feels quite green. I've just been there last weekend, and it still feels much greener than Canggu nowadays. But just imagine if they did the proper city planning, and we had like a piece of developed area with restaurants and villas and cafes. Then we had a small chunk of land which is still green fields and gardens and rice fields. Then another part. Imagine like how beautiful the daily commuting would be, and even if there is a traffic, but you have a beautiful surrounding. But it didn't happen, and it's irreversible. So the government can only learn for future areas.
Yes, you can't really blame the demand, because it's beautiful. If you get to stay in that one of the rare, very rare now, a villa with a rice paddy view with a nice design, it's a thing of envy. I want to stay there. I want to have that, and you can't really blame someone for wanting things, and you can't really blame someone who would like to supply it. But here's the thing: we know this land is supposed to be green zone. 3 years from now, it's not. There's something to be questioned about that. If there is already a zoning in place, how is it changing so fast, so sudden?
And we all know the reason why,
right? You can't blame for someone who wants to have something, and you can't blame someone already having the resource to have it, or someone who wants to sell it. The government needs to be creating like subsiding the farmers that refuse to sell their land, and protecting it with some cultural like heritage codes and so on. That's the only way. But also look at what's happening. Like, okay, green zones are rice paddies are destroyed, but also look what's happening in Uluwatu with them actually slicing the coastline, which is like such a natural cultural heritage for the area. Because when you see this from the cliff side, looking left and right, or from the ocean, it was very unique and very beautiful. But now just imagine that it's all going to be covered in buildings.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same anymore. Like if you travel to Phuket, they have very strict rules on the zone development. That's why if you arrive at the beach line, it's always looks very natural. And the island is much smaller than Bali, and the zones that have permits for development are very small comparing to Bali. This actually drives the land price up significantly, because you have a controllable amount of land. But that's because all the land belongs to the crown. In Thailand.
Different system.
Yeah, it's a different system. But Indonesian government just needs to be smarter about things, and they need to understand that Bali is like a jewel in the crown of Indonesian islands, and they need to be more conscious about what the upsides are and what needs to be preserved properly. Cannot turn the place into a tourist trap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the problem not about Bali, but also have you ever been to Nusa Lembongan, Nusa Ceningan, Nusa Penida? The same. They have a lot of development projects on the cliffs.
Mhm.
And they're also doing the same thing.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I think from my experience, it's always like a little bit hard to get things right in advance. So it has to come to a problem where the problem is like realized by everyone, and then we're gonna start fixing it until it's fixed now. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a little bit too late.
It has to get to a critical condition,
Yes.
and then it's gonna be fixed, and the question then is gonna be fixed somehow. But it would be just so nice if we could think ahead a little bit and understand where the things are heading, that we do it a little bit earlier, so we can preserve more of what initially made Bali so famous and so special.
And do you think, as a consultant in this case, Do Better Place can help in, giving the proper information to buyers and to investors on how and which areas that you should invest, so that it is not only profitable for the owners, but it's also helping the, Bali to stay green for as long as we can hold it?
Well, like we said many times, we are not chasing as many sales as possible, because we are building long-term relationship. Unlike everyone else in the island, as a real estate agent who just sells the property, we have the relationship with our clients 5, 6, 7 years. Now we have like 6 is, I think, the longest, because we would be managing the property after you buy it. So we will not sell something that gonna end up having like construction all around, or something that's gonna have a negative impact on the surrounding, if there is such.
First thing that we always do is to make sure the zoning that we offer is correct, right? We want to make sure that what we're selling is not hurting the environment as much as possible. Luckily for us, we're not a developer. We have the ability to select developers that we want to work with. That way, that is how we minimize the environmental impact that we give out to the client, who will be the end holder for the property. Yes, we will be the one who manages, and that will be according to our standard of operation in terms of how to make sure the environment keep environmentally friendly and everything. But from the first start of the partnership, we already start with, hey, this is what we think is good for you, and this is what we should negotiate towards with the seller, and let's move forward from there. Yeah.
All right, so that was quite an interesting talk. I was thinking that we would only talk about properties and real estate, but turns out the conversation goes into talking about government and environment as well. So that was some interesting talk. I can't wait for the next episode. Mark, Sadhu, Tatiana, thank you so much for sharing with us. And if you have any questions, or if you want to know anything about real estate in Bali, do leave comments in the videos below. And don't forget to catch up on the next video. Don't forget to drop a like, share, and subscribe for more amazing talks about properties and real estate in Bali. So that's it. See you in the next video. Bye.
Thank you, Maria. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.